Hey guys, welcome out there to Street Freaks Garage. We're going to take a second here today to bring you way up to northern Michigan here with us. We came on up here to visit a good friend of ours, Tim Scott, and we're bringing you along to check out some Leadfoot Motors up here. He's got some really cool stuff up here today. We're going to see if we can get a tour of the shop and take a look around. So come along with us, guys. Let's check it out. Hey there, Tim. How's it going, buddy?
Good.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. All right. And we got Axel over here. Say hi, Axel. All right, cool. He's helping out in the shop today. So then we got, of course, Kira came with us here today. So cool. So what's the scoop on this bad boy? We come in, we see this sweet motor sitting here.
This is actually just well, it came out of a Corvette originally. It's a 327. It's got a 4-speed behind it. It's going to end up out
And you see these black things?
Yeah, the ram horns, huh?
Yeah.
That's it's going to end up in that 78 pickup I got out in the yard there.
Okay.
And you see this thing?
I picked it up. Originally, it was a 3 on the tree.
Okay.
Straight
You see
6.
this thing?
Okay.
And I thought, being as it's got the pedals, yeah, it's fine. So I figured, you know, you don't often see a 4-speed V8
Right.
old school Chevy pickup, so
Right. That is cool.
just something different, something old school. You know, I like old school.
It's very cool, yeah. Old classic 283. Can't beat that. So is this your normal shop then, Tim, that you're doing business out of all the time type of thing? Okay.
Yeah, this is my shop.
So you do like a lot of hot rod builds or classic car builds, or what types of things do you...
Just buy them and kind of make them look a little better, and then you know, find people that
Pass
want them
them on.
done.
Yep,
You
yep.
know, I get them to various degrees. I don't always finish them all the way, but
Same thing we do. Same thing. Get them to somebody who loves them.
yeah.
Somebody who's going to appreciate them and take care of them.
Pull them out of the barn, and somebody that isn't quite as motivated or doesn't have the time, knowledge, money, you know,
Yep.
or whatever, and just kind of make it nice and hand it off to somebody else who
So
can finish it off.
how long you been doing this on your own then, Tim?
About a year and a half.
About a year and a half? Okay. And this is your regular job then too? This is what you're doing? Okay.
Yep.
Every day it's back to the shop. So, all right, cool. What other types of builds have you done so far? I mean, that you have...
Nothing major. I mean, just
I mean, we'll check out some of the cool cars here, you know, everything in a minute, but...
like a few, just find them dirty and clean them up and send them off, you know, quick turn and burns type thing. And then there's been a couple, you know, take something that just looks kind of normal and, you know, put some wheels on it, tint the windows, make it loud, you know, make it a little more, give it a little bit of attitude.
No, you mentioned you really like square bodies. Would you say that's your main love of the classic car world? Is
I'd say,
probably square body trucks?
Yeah, between square bodies and G bodies, that's about.
Okay.
I'd mess with those exclusively if I could.
Okay. Okay. All right, cool. So you were telling us earlier about this Trans Am build here that you were doing.
Yeah.
Kind of the ass into the Trans Am, and Brando's gonna like that because his nickname at the shop is Bondo, so he's gonna love the license plate on there.
Yep.
But just be a wall hanger.
Yep, it's gonna be a wall hanger. Like it's not gonna be quite as rough and tumble as the Chevy pickup there. It's gonna actually get redone. It's gonna get painted black. It's gonna kind of.
Oh, like a bandit we're in, huh?
Yeah, give it a little bit of a bandit theme. And,
That's kind of cool.
And just kind of see where it goes. And,
How you doing there, buddy?
yeah, I actually just got the lights, the housings. I kind of had to hack them apart on the backside. And
No, is that LED lights in there? Or?
yeah, those are LED lights.
Okay.
And I just kind of put them in there just to be static on, you know, the license plate lights and the tail lights, so they don't blink or anything like that.
That's
It's
pretty
just
cool,
kinda
though.
Unplug them, turn them off, and plug them in, turn them back on.
That's pretty sweet. And then you got the back end of a truck up here, I see.
Yeah, and that actually lights up too.
Oh, the truck part does?
Yeah, the tail panel. That was kind of it actually came off of that truck that's hanging on the wall, and all the mounting hardware on the back was completely rotted off.
Sweet.
So
Awesome.
I just kind of took and went at it with some polish to make it look kind of a little bit better than it was, because it was really kind of sad looking.
I want to play a game.
Do some backlighting. That's pretty
Yep,
sweet.
yeah, I just got some sticky LEDs and put some backlighting on it, run some screws in the wall, and just hung it up. I mean, simple, but it
That's
gets
pretty
attention.
cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yep. Just something that, you know, leave it on as a night light or something like that.
Cool. And there's the logo right there.
Yep.
That little chrome foot. We got one of those chrome foots at the shop.
Yeah, I figured it was just it was the only logo that I really.
It's pretty cool.
It was meant to be. You know,
it's cool.
It's just kind of an icon logo of the old school. And
show us some of these cool cars, Axel. You got back here. Show us some of these cool cars back here. Let's take a look at some of these cool cars.
There's a green car back there.
There's a green one back there?
Yeah.
What's this blue one? Do you know what this blue one is?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, we know it's a Buick Regal. What is it, about an 86?
I believe it's an 84.
84? Okay.
And it belongs to the guy that owns the building. He picked it up. It's an old school drag car. It spent a lot of years in a barn not being driven.
Is there a light on this side?
Yeah, I can turn on some lights. But yeah, it's got a 427 in it, naturally aspirated. I mean, it's a healthy sounding car.
427, yeah.
It has some lingering issues from, you know, an old build and, you know.
Now, when did you say he picked this up?
A couple of months ago.
A couple months ago, okay.
Apparently the guy who owned it previous, he bought it, I don't know, 15, 16 years ago from the guy who built it, and he took it down to Woodward and got a reckless driving with it.
That says it all.
Put it on a trailer and brought it back home, and that's as far as she went.
That's pretty sweet.
But it was locally, you know, it was 20 minutes down the road.
So he picked it up 20 minutes down the road from where he was at, or from here?
From here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Clear Lake. But yeah, it's a pretty nice car. Just needs some fine tuning, some updating.
Now, have you drove it yet?
He has a little bit.
He has.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty
he just
sweet.
wanted something to cruise around, you know, something with a little bit of thump to it. She's healthy. It does have some electrical gremlins, so it can't unfortunately be started, but it definitely does sound. It sounds the part as much as looks the part of a cool street car, you know.
I know some people on the channel I think are gonna like that. So.
Yeah.
So what's the scoop on this bad boy? I mean, look at this thing.
Yeah, this
is wild.
It was built in 2000, somewhere around there, in Midland, by a guy who had a hydraulic shop and built these cars. He built trucks, S10s,
so
and stuff
cool.
like that. And he did all the work himself except for the interior. And it went to a friend of mine. He bought it, enjoyed it for a year or two, and then he kind of there was some issues with it, and he parked it in a barn, worked on it a little bit.
Okay,
then,
I remember seeing pictures on your page about that.
Yeah.
When it was all nasty
other
looking.
priorities kind of took over, family and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that, and it's sat in a barn for 17 years.
That's what happens to a lot of cars, you know. I mean,
When I got it, it was dusty and crusty and full of acorn shells and, you know, animal footprints everywhere.
Man.
It had an old V6 in it that they basically went and they took all the hood insulation and packed it in every square corner they could get for.
of course.
When I tried starting it, it caught fire and then locked up. So
Gotta have their home.
I had a
Oh,
V8
nice.
laying around that
Beautiful.
it was just a stock rebuild. Look, it's all show and no go. I mean, it's like 190 horse stock rebuild.
Still,
so,
though, for a car like this, I mean, these ain't built for speed. I
No,
mean,
no, it was a perfect match for it because I just had it laying around, just kind of looking for a home, and I thought, well, these are meant for more to be a cruiser, so it's more
exactly.
For the,
Yep.
You get that V8 noise, you know. 'Cause,
Yep.
I mean, I was a little disappointed. I didn't even know this car had a V6 in it, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I've known the car since it was nice back then, and then over the years I tried buying it a couple of times, and we could just never, you know.
Hit on price.
Yeah, it was either I didn't have the money, or you know, it wasn't good timing. You know, get a hold of him, and then you know, stuff happens, can't get to it, and finally this spring.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, finally this spring I was able to hook up with him and get it, and.
Dang. I'm glad you did, man. That's cool.
Yeah,
You
this
saved
is
it.
one I wanted to save for a long time. It's been I've tried to buy this car for probably the better part of 10 years.
Now, is this an 83 or 84?
Oh, it's an 81.
Well, you won earlier. Okay.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
it's
I
right
believe it
when
was
they
the
started,
first-
right when they switched the body style.
Yeah, right for the first year for this body style. But it's pretty wild, you know. I mean, he did all the paint work. The guy who built it did all the paint work himself.
And that metallic green like that is not easy to paint.
Yeah, no, there's 4 pounds of metal flake in this,
Damn.
this color, and he said there's probably about
Steering wheel to match.
Lord knows how many coats of clear on it, but
Man, that's very cool. Now you don't bring this out very much, do you? I mean, since
no,
you
it
had
actually hasn't been out yet. I got to redo the brakes on it. The
Okay.
proportioning valve gave up the ghost on me when I was kind of making everything. I've driven it around a lot.
How's the hydraulics work?
Yeah, they work. The front pump is a little slow.
That's pretty cool.
But
That is freaking
they've
sweet.
got their issues. They need. They've got leaks, so I'm sure they're low on fluid.
So it's just older, basically. I mean, those are older suspension.
It needs some adjustment on the dumps, you know, kind of quick.
And that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh. Now, do you got to have like a rubber bumper or something on the bottom of the car to prevent it from going down too low, or is there a?
It's just pretty much whatever it lands on. You know, just
Wow.
back in the day, that's how they did it. You know, you find a lot of them, and they got.
When did you say he did this? How long did
I want to say about 2000 is when he originally built it.
About 21 years ago, huh?
He used top of the line stuff for the day. Red's Pro
Holy
Comp
Jesus!
pumps.
Yeah, wow.
I've been told
Lord.
that those pumps they're red competition series pumps, and they no longer make them. So I was actually told that there's like a little bit of value just in the fact of what they are, because they're all chrome pumps, and then of course he color matched the bodies of the back sides. I had a guy come and look at it, and he said that these caps, these aluminum caps that have reds engraved in them, he said you can probably get, you know, $100-$150 a piece for those on eBay if you really wanted. But
No, is this still the way the systems are done nowadays? Do you know?
I don't.
Tim, if it's,
I don't. I've always had a fond interest in lowriders, but this is the first one I've ever messed with. I've always wanted to own one, so this is kind of, you know, me fulfilling a dream. But
This is very
you
cool.
can see how many. I mean, it's got more hydraulic leaks than.
Yep. It's got to be pretty common for a car, you know, with an older restoration like this, you know.
Yeah, I expected it. It's just a matter of figuring out which fittings got bad O-rings and going from there.
Man, that is just going to be. But to see this thing cruising down the street is just going to be so sweet.
Yeah. Yep, it's actually currently for sale, so if somebody wants to buy it, finish it, and cruise it down.
Is it really? You're going to sell it?
Yeah, yep. I just got too many of them, and it's significant the way it looks. You know, it was built to look like an old school lowrider from the early '80s.
And mechanically, you said it's all good, right? I mean, there's no.
Besides the brakes.
Besides brakes, but I
which
mean,
if it sits here long enough, I'll eventually throw it up in the air and fix those. But other than that, it goes into reverse drive. I haven't tried out all the gears, but you know, like I said, the motor's got 0 miles on it. I had to break it in.
I mean, we're talking, you know, as far as like, I mean, as I walk around the car, you know, I look for any problem areas, any small flaws with the car, and there's not hardly any that I'm seeing, really. I mean,
No, they didn't start with a cream puff. There was floor work done. There is a few lingering rust holes. You know, nothing huge.
Where am
there
I?
are some rust holes in the floor pan under the rear seat.
okay, so I need a little bit of patchwork there. Let's see, this mirror over here's got a chip out of it.
Yeah, something must have fell on it, I'm guessing. So at least it hit the mirror, so you could segregate it to that part if you really had to repaint it.
And that could almost be modified and fixed, kind of.
Yeah. And the only other real boo-boo in the paint's on the trunk. It looks like somebody slammed her shut and didn't have her lined up quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I
Pulled a
noticed
little
it.
chip off there, but
Still though, what a cool car.
if you take it anywhere to a cruise in or a show, I guarantee it's gonna have the attention of everybody in the place. It's just even back then there's nothing I ever saw that was as cool looking as this
That is
car.
pretty sweet. The color's just freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, these lights do zero justice for it. I mean, out in the sunshine, it's just.
And it just screams, like you said. I mean, these are the lowriders I remember, like from the early 80s and mid 80s when these come out, or late 80s, I should say, early 90s. This is what you've seen.
Yep.
A lot of Montes and.
Well, and that's the way he built this car. I mean, it was supposed to kind of be a homage to that, because in the early 2000s, you probably remember as much as I do, the wheel sizes were climbing up. You know,
Oh,
they
yeah.
were going, I mean,
Yeah.
17s and 18s they were the huge ones, and you know, he had the spinning wheels that
Yeah, the spinners on them. Yeah.
stopped, the rim kept going, and you know, this is on 13-inch 100 spoke knockoffs.
Oh, is it a 13 inch?
13 inch.
Those are Dayton's, ain't they? Or
They
knockoff of Dayton?
I cannot remember what they are, but
because they look just like Dayton's.
yeah, they I guess they were the close second of their time period.
Man, I can't believe you'd have any problem selling this car at all. I really
I have a
don't.
lot of interest, but nobody's come forward yet. And
Of course, I guess you know you got to find somebody who loves the car and who can work on the hydraulics, and
right.
that's probably the hard part.
It does require a little bit more attention, you know. I mean, it's not a daily or anything like that. I mean, it's
Requires more
you got to
maintenance.
really want this car to, you know, because the drivability of it, I won't lie, it's probably complete and total garbage because there's no sway bar in the front,
Yep.
and
You're
riding on hydraulic cylinders, so you're going to go down the road and it's going to be like being in a wave pool, you know. I mean, it's
literally a slow cruiser, not not a speed demon car by any
matter of fact. On my way
means.
home from downstate this weekend, I saw a mid-'80s Cadillac, and it was the same thing. He was on 13s and he was going up M15, and you know it's 55 miles an hour, and he probably was barely doing 40. But,
Oh
you know,
my
that car's
gosh!
just sitting there doing this stuff.
Riding like crap,
You know,
probably.
a couple of young kids, but I thought, I feel your pain, man, because I know that this isn't something you take out on the expressway and do 80 with.
Right.
It's not happening.
That is freaking cool. I could just see the name on that car, like the Joker or something on there, or the Green Goblin or something. It'd just be cool.
Yeah, I always thought it would have been kind of cool if they would have finished off all the trim in like gold and like accents on the wheels and gold with like.
Yeah, that would have been sharp.
It's got the gold leaf.
Green and
the
gold,
pinstripe.
yeah.
So I mean, it would.
Cash money. There you go.
Yeah, and it just kind
Some
of.
dollar signs on it.
Yep. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So what's the scoop on the little mini bike here?
That's another one that belongs to the building owner. He likes to buy stuff and just kind of But yeah, it's just an old moped he found and thought it was neat, and
that is pretty cool.
he picked it up and decided to see what he could do with it. I guess it doesn't run, but I don't know.
So he must be into some of the old antique stuff too, then.
Yeah, he likes old stuff. Anything that that's interesting that you know you can pick up and make a buck or two off of, you know, just by fixing it and you know find it in various states of disrepair and kind of get a new lease on life.
I had a guy one time and he told us, he says, oh, we went to pick up some cars or something, look at some cars the guy had, and he said, oh, he says, you guys are flippers, right? I says, no, I don't like to use the word flipper. I says, because it's not about that to me. Right. I'm picky about who gets the car that I sell, because I want to make sure it goes to somebody who loves it and not somebody who's just looking to flip it or make a buck.
Right.
I want somebody to get it who's been looking for that kind of car, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of how I operate. You know, I mean, I have done some flips. I mean, I'm not gonna shy away from an obvious good deal.
Right. A good deal's a good deal, right?
I don't normally go hunting for them as far as like somebody that's asking $5,000 for something. I don't go, oh, I got cash $2,500. I don't operate like that. But if somebody's got something and I come across it, like the Grand National out there, I mean, that was he set the price and that's where it went. And, you know, I know there's money left in the car, but I'm kind of at odds with that one because I've always wanted a Grand National and I got one, so that one might stay with
That's sweet, man. Yeah, we'll check that one out too.
They're gonna call it the one-room schoolhouse.
Well, I can tell this is the workshop because there's, you know, it's nice and clean here. And, you know, room to pull stuff in.
Yeah, I wish it was a little taller. I'd love to have a lift in here, but got to start out modest.
They can be.
What I got.
Well, let's check out some of these rides outside. All right, so here we go. Here's the big one. Tell us about this one. This is, what year is this?
85.
85.
So it's a hot air car. It's not quite as desirable as the almighty 86, 87 ones, and of course the GNX.
Now, are these Pontiac wheels?
No, those are actually knockoff.
Really?
Off-brand GNX wannabe wheels. They're made by American Racing.
Okay, all right.
And even though the
It's got a similar,
on that one, but,
similar pattern to the Pontiac, right? The ones I'm thinking of, the GTAs or something?
The GTA style.
Okay,
wheels. But if you pop off the center cap on them, they actually say American Racing on them.
Racing,
so there's I forget what the name is for them, but you know
they look really good on there though.
The guy that originally had this car that bought it new, I think he was trying to make a half-assed GNX clone, because the guy I got it from said when he bought it, it had a bunch of new old stock GM parts, including a GNX grill, the fender vents, badging,
Okay.
You know, it already had the wheels on it, but he said that he sold all that stuff off and got, of course, a mint for it. Because
So
everybody wants a GNX.
He was going all out coloring it then.
Yeah, yeah. Which
So
I'm
what's
not a huge fan of.
what's the story on this? I gotta ask. Department of Defense. What's up with that?
The original
At the Air
owner,
Force Base.
it's been a Michigan car its whole life. He bought it brand new in Gaylord, and I think that's where he worked, or he was in.
He was involved with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
At the Air
that's
Force
obviously
Base.
his parking credentials, and
That's pretty cool.
I think when I don't know how it all worked if he was off on leave, but you know the car the paint job's baked on it on top. You know,
Oh, yeah.
the roof, the trunk, the other side.
The black just takes a beating.
I think he would go away maybe possibly for an extended leave.
Okay.
And he would drive this there and park it, so it caught a lot of like early morning, early day sun, but you know, it's all concentrated on that one side.
That's pretty sweet. A lot of people want a Grand National. Very few ever get to own one.
Yeah, no, they're nice cars. They're awesome. They get a lot of attention, more than I ever thought they would. Because it's always been on my radar as a cool car, and but I mean, this has probably been the one that gets the most attention out of anything I've ever owned since I started driving.
You know, actually, now that I think it was probably one of the cars that started the blackout phase when you think about it.
Yeah.
And because really, this is one of the first cars you've seen back then where all your trims blacked out.
Yep.
You know, and after these, it seemed like the blackout thing became more popular.
Yeah, there's always a sport edition that had blackout trim versus chrome.
That looks sweet, especially with the black windows and.
Yep. So it was just that was another one that was sitting in a garage. Hadn't been. Last time it was registered, I think, was 04. Yep. This is my kind of pseudo daily right now until the weather says otherwise. Because I'm kind of like Jay Leno, you know, it's, without all the money and fame, you know, it's just a car, you know, it's meant to be driven.
Yeah.
It's got 125,000 miles on it, and 5,000 of them have been what I put on it since I owned it. So,
man.
But yep, it unfortunately is a non-intercooled car, which is a bummer because they're a little faster and a little more desirable, but
Very cool.
they're still cool in their own way. Definitely a bucket list car that I'm fortunate enough to.
Yeah, I think it's a bucket list car for a lot of people, and yeah, it's even got the Buick logo on the under the hood.
Yep.
Still in nice shape. Beautiful.
Yeah, and the inside of it is every bit as, or the underside of it and the inside of it is every bit as
clean.
nice as everything else. I mean, it's just a super, for being a Michigan-born car, it's
And it's
just,
original paint, everything, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Yep, original paint.
Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, it's definitely a cool
that is
car to
freaking
own.
sweet.
I don't like driving normal stuff, so it might be a little trash from juice.
All right. Something tells me Axel's back here with his gun.
Love riding in this one.
Very cool. They got a real similar interior to the Monte Carlos, don't they?
Yep.
Cutlass is
Kind of a, honestly, for as significant and as different as this car was, the interior, in my opinion, is kind of boring.
It is. It's kind of a shocker. I'm actually kind of shocked that they did this, to be honest with you. I mean, look at those door sill plates, so nice. But I'm actually kind of shocked that they did this to a Buick back then.
Right.
And not a Monte Carlo, you would think. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, Monte Carlo kind of had the SS thing coming up on its heels there, you know, in 84 and that. And they chose a Buick to do the sportier car. It's kind of strange that they did that. But.
And they never really did anything with the Cutlass. They never, well,
Yeah.
I guess they kind of did with the Hearst, but there was never really a fast Cutlass.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And then,
yeah.
of course, the Grand Prix.
Dress
They didn't
packages.
do, they didn't do anything. I mean, there was no sport luxury package. It was all just.
And when they did, they tucked the boniest motors in them they could get. You know, of course, at that time and era.
Yeah.
You know. But so what's going on over here with this thing? Is this
That
parts?
was a field find. A friend of mine downstate had it sitting in his yard. It was bought from a junkyard years and years ago. Spent most of its life sitting around, rusting away.
No, what is this?
71 Camaro.
Okay, 71. Okay.
It was an actual former drag car. I don't know how long it spent doing that, but it's definitely lived a lion's share of its life being rotten, and it basically got it given to me.
Now, what's the plan for this one, Tim? You gonna steal the parts off it, or?
No, I think
kinda-
you know, it could go one way or another, because year one you can buy every part for it to restore it.
That is true. That is true.
But I kind of like the rough look of it. You know, I mean, it's
Kind of raw.
yeah. You know, I was gonna fix it up and just kind of make it a little bit of a, because there is a small community of grudge racers in like the Roscommon area that all have big tire cars. That,
Oh yeah.
you know, they're all pretty well-to-do businessmen. They just call each other out and have races. And I thought, well, maybe I could enter the ring when I'm doing a little better and
Have some fun with
throw
it.
big snotty big block in it and see. And I was thinking, you know, finish it off, just make it one color. And then I thought, you know, if I get a front clip, big motor, and make it run, I thought to myself, how cool would it be to get, you know, for me to have a shitboxy looking 71 Camaro and, you know, whoop tail off something that somebody's got a shiny paint job and all kinds of stuff done too.
Yeah, and just have some fun with it in the process. It is pretty cool.
But it does need a lot of work, and it'll just probably be a while before I get to it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. If you get to it, you get to it. If you don't, you don't. And whatever.
Having it here is half the battle, you know. I mean, it's.
So is this one of your trucks too here?
That actually belongs to a friend of mine now. I've done some
Okay.
deals with. I picked it up because it had a lot of spare parts.
What year is this? This is about.
This is 78.
Okay, I was gonna say it's pretty damn close to the one that we picked up.
Yep,
Um,
78 Big 10, and
So this one's being restored or going to be fixed. It's not a parts truck, right?
no, he's.
Okay.
I think he's just gonna kind of throw. I got a fender in the parts stash that I told him he could have put on it, and
Oh, okay.
I think he's just gonna make her a driver.
Oh, it's got a green motor in it.
Yeah, it's 283. He was gonna. It came out of a Buick Regal that he had because he sold the Regal, and it runs like a, you know, scalded dog, and he was gonna put it in this truck, but so we set it in there, and he chucked the Regal, but now he's got a 78 Trans Am that I think he's gonna put that one in.
Oh, okay. We've been talking about doing a green motor at the shop for a long time, and
Yeah.
it's funny that you had that one in there.
Yeah, it looks cool, that color.
It does.
I mean, it's a rough old truck, but I think he's just gonna. He's like me. He's a square body guy, so he's just gonna fix it up and make it a driver. It's not
It
gonna be.
don't look like it was too bad though. I mean,
No, it does have some body work in it though.
inside the box is decent. Yeah, I know we're going to be looking for a rear bumper, for an original rear bumper for a 76.
They're getting hard to come by.
And I told Brandon probably better off just to buy a repop one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's so when I bought that one, I bought it from a friend of mine I used to work with years ago from up in Lewiston, and it came with an extra box, an extra set of fenders, and an extra set of doors, which all ended up going on that one.
Oh, okay.
So basically, I bought the truck basically to get the parts
Kind of
that
for
I needed.
parts, yeah.
You know, I didn't really. I mean, I would have kept the truck around just because of what it is, but my buddy Mike showed some pretty hardcore interest in it.
Mhm.
He made a deal on it, so.
It's a good looking truck, a Bonanza too.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
see those very often.
No, it's cool.
That's pretty cool. So let's jump to the other truck first, and let's.
Yeah, this is the truck that's getting that 327 that's on the floor in there.
Oh, okay.
It was just kind of it came originally from a guy in Indiana, but a friend of mine from Detroit, Detroit area, he traded him, they like to do a lot of trading, so he traded him a car for this truck. And he's a Ford guy. He's all Ford, but you know,
Okay.
I was really surprised because the Chevy showed up, and I'm like, dude,
What's up with that?
you know, that's my wheelhouse. And it was all that original mint green, and it was all there. It was a complete truck. It was just really rusty. Yeah, I mean, you can
Okay.
see how
Yeah, the
cab
cab
corner,
corner there.
the whole bottom side, every panel looked like that. It was.
That's still really good for a lot of ones I see though.
Yeah, yeah. So I brought it back up here. I bought it off of him, went down, trailered it home, and drove it around for a little while, you know. And it had that old that old straight six in it, which anybody that knows these trucks with a straight six and a 3 on the tree, it's 0 to 60 in 1 to 2 business days.
Exactly.
And so I eventually ripped the motor out of it and took all the rusty panels off of it, and it just sat here as basically a cab and the front radiator support. It's set back here in the corner looking kind of terrible. and then that truck came along with all the parts, so I just kind of took the parts from that.
Oh, okay.
Extra
Put them on this
put
one?
the box on it, doors, fenders.
And what year is this one?
78 as well.
78. Okay, same one.
This is the same thing as that one's a 78 Big 10.
Now is this Silverado or Bonanza Custom Deluxe?
This
It's
one I think is just a
Cheyenne,
but I don't know for sure. I think
on the dash it or no?
I might have.
That's the original car there on the dash. That
I thought I had one of the fender badges in here, but I don't. Oh yeah, here it is. This is
oh, this
Silverado.
Silverado. All right, cool. Yeah,
So
that's pretty sweet.
yep, it's a cool project. You know, just another one that I think I'm just gonna flat black it or gloss black it. And,
Just kind of like a hot rod truck kind of thing.
yeah, it was going to be a parts chaser, but you know, once again, I get these things and I start in on them, and then people find interest in them. So it's probably going to be one of those things. As soon as it gets finished, somebody will
Come along and make an offer on it.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. You know,
Yeah,
I try not to get attached to too many of them.
there's always the next one.
Yeah.
So now you got a couple more here. You got an Oldsmobile here and a
Yep.
Mustang.
The Mustang is that's the brother to the Mustang over there. It's just a kind of a customer job. He wants the engine out of that one and put it into this one, so he can kind of
I
build
see.
get a little bit of a street car.
Oh, okay.
So he's
This will be
had some surgeries over the years that prevent him from doing any type of motor extractions. So
okay.
he asked me if I would do it, and I told him that I would. And so I just basically got to clean up the engine bay on this one, take the engine out of that one, and put it into this one.
Now are they both about the same year, Tim? Or?
That I don't know. They're relative to the same era, but
That one's probably, I'm gonna guess, early 90s on that one.
could be.
Early to mid 90s on that blue one.
I'm not totally a Mustang guy, so I'll admit I don't know much about them.
I would guess probably. I'd guess probably 90s on this one, maybe early 90s, maybe late 80s.
Yeah, I would guess mid to late 80s if I had to guess, but they made this body style up until I don't even know.
Yeah, probably 98-ish, 99. I think
not sure.
Yeah, the headlights, I'm gonna say it's probably 80s on here.
Yeah.
I don't know, it still says on there.
I've always liked
87.
Mustangs, but I've never been. They've always just kind of been there. They're really not on my radar
Yep,
too much.
yep.
I mean,
And they're big at the drag strips too. These
Yeah.
little pony cars. A lot of people run these things. I mean, they run like crazy. Small car, big motors. Just adds up. So the Oldsmobile, what's the scoop on that? Is this your product or?
it was. I actually bought and sold this car a couple of different times.
Okay.
I'm probably going to end up owning it again because the guy who has it, he's the same guy that's getting the blue and white truck. And
Oh, okay.
I bought the car originally. It was downstate in Thumb. A tree had fallen on it and dented the roof and destroyed the fuse box.
Really?
Limb poked right through the dash. And,
Oh, man.
Destroyed it. And the guy who had it, he was at his wit's end with it. He come out and it was his daily, and he came out and saw the limb on the poked through the windshield and dented the roof, and he said his heart just sank, and he went in there and sat. And
That's enough to make you sick.
yeah, and it's a relatively clean body. There's some bumps and bruises.
It looks really nice. Yeah, the rear
underside
quarters
is
look nice.
super duper nice. But I just kind of had it laying around, and I pulled the 307 out of it and cleaned up the interior and basically had it ready for an engine. And that guy came along. I took all the dash out of it, took all the electronics, all the old wiring. And I was just going to do a simple tin dash and oh, there's
There's your other badge.
yeah. Look at that. And so it was just basically none of this was in here. He actually bought that dash from a local parts guy.
Oh, okay. So the other one got busted out. That one got hit.
Yeah, it was busted all the hell.
Man,
And,
that's too bad.
I figured instead of trying to save it, I'd just rip it all out of there and start over. But
It looked like it was a nice original car before that
it
happened. I mean,
was. The guy that I got it from actually bought it in the early 90s.
okay.
This is an
86, 87?
86, I think it is. And he bought it in, I want to say 91 or 92. I
Okay.
probably reckon that, but And he paid good. He said he went and got a loan for it, you know, and he drove it. It was his car for years and years and years. Never drove it in the winter, and it was his baby. And then when the tree went through the roof, he just kind of, yeah, that was it. That was the kiss of death.
So did it go right through the windshield, or actually through the roof itself?
It dented the roof over there. There's a few dents here and there, and
Okay.
the main portion of it blew the window out. And like I said, there was one limb that went and stabbed right through the dash and just completely obliterated the electronics.
Didn't bother the A-pillar at all, did it? Or?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Luckily.
I measured and took cross measurements, and the structure of the car was completely square. So
Okay.
it was just, you know, superficial dents. They're not pretty dents. I still got to finish it. You know, you can see that it's not completely done, but.
That's pretty sweet.
But when I sold it to him, it didn't have a motor in it, and then he put a 400 small block in it. So
Oh, okay. That's
he was kind of in the midst of getting that done, and he ended up bringing the car back. I bought the car back because he was in a, I don't know if he was in a bad way for money or what the deal was, but he sold me the car. And then we made a deal where he wanted to buy the car back because he really missed it. You know, his kids liked it, and they wanted to see the project done. It was going to be like a family cruiser. So right now he owns it, but he has told me that he's looking.
Might be selling it to you.
Doing other things. He wants to buy a house, so it might end up back in my hands, which is fine. I don't mind that a bit.
That's pretty sweet.
It's going to be just like I tell people, because you see these cars and they're getting higher in value, and people are laughing at it, going, "Oh, you'll never get that for that." I'm sure there was people that said that about the early '70s Chevelles too.
That's right.
You could trip and fall into 20 of them around every corner too. Now look at them.
Yep.
People took a lot of good ones and made circle track cars out of them. So I mean, you know, there's a lot of these died on Saturday night at the local dirt track, and so I mean, yeah, you're gonna come to find that one of these days you're gonna see one of these go across the block at Barrett Jackson and get, you know,
over 20, 25 grand. Easy.
Or
more, yeah.
Because I mean, I'm sure there was a time where people thought that Chevelles would never get
what they're bringing now.
Yeah. They are, and I mean, you see where those go regularly for really nice ones.
Well, if you've been watching the market over the last 15, 20 years, you have to be blind to not see that the G-Buys have really crawled up in value, you know, type of thing. And they're still going, so.
And that just makes me wish I would have kept every one I had. Because I mean, like square
Me
bodies,
too.
I've owned a bunch of them, and you can only own a few at a time. And I always told myself I wish I would have had a big piece of property. I just would have stashed them all out there.
Can't keep them all, right? Is that what they tell us?
Even though I'd like to. But yeah, that's pretty much the spread.
Well, we got some pretty cool stuff up here, brother. We appreciate you showing us around and letting us take a peek and chatting with us on these things. And all right, man. Well, hey, thanks for chatting with us today, and we'll see you next time. And we'll talk to you soon, there, brother. All right, guys, that's going to go ahead and conclude it here for this episode right here. Checking out at Leadfoot Motors. We met up with Tim Scott here today. Check out some really cool rides here at his shop here today. Make sure to click like and subscribe down below if you like what you've seen. If you're interested in that Monte Carlo also too, drop a line down in the comments down below. You never know, it could be yours for the right price. So we'll talk to you soon, guys. Take care of yourselves. God bless. We love you. Bye-bye.